Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Kyle Orvis, your favorite TinFoil Realist, not theorist. We excited about this one, ladies and gents. HASHY Jim is going to be in the house here in a couple minutes. Dude, the shit that's popping off on Fantom with NFTs is insane. To the point, I got a wee bit of kind of NFT fatigue, where it's like, okay, hold up. I got to just kind of sit back and examine the markets, see what's going on. A lot of it is, I find I haven't been able to sit with my patience, and feels like times right now, it's time for me to sit, be patient, watch the markets. But anyways, ladies and gents, we have HASHY Jim in the house. Dude, and here he is. And he's a fucking rock star. That's
wasn't a full yes on the question, so
this is fucking
a full face.
yeah. I understandable. I like it. I like that we're starting to meet the artists here. I feel like it's kind of a big deal for me. As I get asked a lot, like, these little things about how do you pick which projects work and this and that. Everybody's speculating, so everybody wants to find out little tips and tricks. And one of my kind of things is, like, I like doxed artists. So this is a cool little thing that we're getting here. Let me just double check my audio quick, make sure everything's working okay. How's your day today, Jim?
Been good.
Hanging there?
Just fucking around in Blender.
Ah, nice. I see you, sir, have been teaching yourself quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah, you could say that.
So this is what I find so fucking interesting about you, is your range. I've seen pixel art. I've seen, like, Blender type of stuff where, I mean, I don't know the programs or anything like that. I'm not the artist. But kind of like background, trippy mashups. I own 2 of your pieces.
And one of them is a collab.
It's a collab with Schlarp, right?
Splarg.
Splarg.
Although any noise like that, he's a fan of. So
That's awesome.
I think that works.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, what you are building over there in the Hash Lounge, this is something that I think a lot of people don't know about, and I've just been infatuated from the goddamn beginning, because
That's kind of the point, though, is keep it.
It's awesome, dude.
Build something cool before we bring everybody in.
Are we allowed to talk about at all what's kind of going on in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I got this Splarg HASHY piece. This is the collab piece. Let me share screen here. Oh, I don't even know how to share screen in Discord. Let's see. So I got this the smash what is this called? The Smash Nanner.
Smush Nanners.
So I think this is super interesting, because I loved this collaboration right off the get-go. When this was, I bought this in one of the Tombheads auctions, which, shout out to Tombheads. They're fucking killing it over there.
Yeah, seriously. Shout out to Tombheads.
Shout out. So I was infatuated at the beginning from this collaboration piece. And I like the idea of collaborations. It's something I've shot back and forth with Uman. Sure enough, you have a whole fucking Discord where there's crazy ass collaborations happening between all of the premier Fantom NFT artists, and ain't nobody knows shit about it.
We're just doing it for fun.
Yeah. What was your idea going into that? Has that kind of reached a weird point for you? Like, is this bigger than you thought it was going to be, or is this what you
initially? Initially, the server was made just for people who purchase my art to be able to, like, get in contact with me, or, like, share ideas, or just, like, speculate about pieces, or just anything like that. And less than 2 hours later, it was full of like every NFT artist you could name, like on Fantom, and we're all just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, this is a fucking epic Discord. I don't want to get into your Discord at all because I don't want to share any big shit that's coming out. But just to kind of summarize what's happening is like there's a bunch of fucking threads that's going on where an artist, one of these Fantom artists, will draw up, gotta be like maybe a couple minutes worth of drawings. And they'll post this in the thread.
Sketch something real quick. Doesn't have to be good. Just put something out there.
Yeah. So they put that out there. All of a sudden, you've got this frenzy of artists calling dibs on that piece, which then they take and add their little touch to it. I noticed Tombheads likes to use the word, somebody go touch that up.
Yeah. Let me touch this.
Yeah. So
I think
all of a
it's
sudden,
even more than just editing the pictures, to be honest.
yeah. All of a sudden, we've got there's got to be 10 to 15 artists in there that are all
Easy.
touching the same image. And it's so hard to describe because it could start out as a small image that, somebody edits. You get 3 artists down the line, and all of a sudden, that small image that we started with is just a small piece in like a way bigger image.
Yeah.
You guys even got me to fucking draw something up while I was at work. And where that has gone,
Yeah, that piece is crazy.
It is mind-blowing. And it's way fucking better than anything that I could have imagined. And it's funny because, like, I was talking to this about Clockworky last night. Is that, I bought his pieces, and then it took to the Tombheads auction when I realized, like, some of those pieces that he was auctioning, I went, oh, fuck. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of his pieces.
Yeah, and you're like,
yeah. So there's this aspect of, like, everybody has their own little style. And I think it's so cool because in these pieces that you guys are all collaborating on, is you can actually, like, see the little bits where eventually that could be a game where you're.
Yeah, it's like figure out who put pieces into this. Like,
yeah,
name the collab. It's like 15 artists. Like, good luck.
Yeah, well, it's funny because so I started a consultation service recently, just kind of helping.
Yeah, I saw that.
Helping new people that are getting into NFTs, whether it's getting into crypto. I'm onboarding all the guys at work. So because of doing that at work, it was like I could probably do this online. So I was having a discussion with these guys last night. They're a new project looking to eventually launch on Fantom. A traditional artist coming from the traditional world. They're trying to get into NFTs.
Yeah.
And the mind-blowing part about it is they bring up the aspect of, like, always the question is, like, what's the best marketing method? How do we get this out to the people? And my simple thing is like, you have to interact with the community. So
yeah, you have to. There's no other way.
Right. So I've always looked at Fantom as kind of this, like, grassroots community that, like, when anybody in Fantom, like, brought up the idea of, like, hey, we should pay shillers to fucking shill Fantom. We're all like, no. None of that shit.
Like, nah.
Let the people just build. You, sir, I don't even know if I've seen a piece of yours, but I've seen you all over the community. And now you've got this Discord group. You clearly have went full on into the community.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was your mindset about that? Was that the whole idea? Was like, if I get into the community first, like that's the only way I'm going to be able to show people my artwork?
No, I've been making and posting art for, it doesn't sound like a long time, but like a month-ish now. This Discord is not even a week old.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want other people to make it, and in turn, like, everyone's nice, and we all just kind of raise each other up.
I love the mindset because, I was having this conversation with these guys last night. So it's for me not being an artist. What I was told was that there's uh, a lot of trying to like you look at everybody else on a way higher level than yourself. It's like this weird like disrespect for your own artwork and your own creativity. You just kind of look at everybody else as like, oh, they're on another level, and I need to get up to their level.
That's how I feel with everybody else in the server.
Well,
I'm
so
like, I'm glad you guys are here because I'm just like the kid amongst adults.
so that's the funny part, right? Is I've talked to going through all the artists. Every fucking one of you has the same feeling,
Yeah,
which I find is so. It feels good in my soul.
it's very humbling.
Well, I was about to say, just understanding the humble nature of all of you guys. I find this so amusing. So let's get into some of your artwork. How'd you start this, dude?
Um, I was working at a smoke shop, really really cool place to work, but the job itself sucked. And so when I could, I'd just draw on my phone. And a lot of the very first pieces that popped up on ZooCoin were all pieces I made while I was at work.
Wow.
And I was just like, I mean, these are cool. I think they're neat. I'm gonna post them up. Maybe someone else will dig them.
So let's go back a little bit further then. So are you already at this point immersed into the crypto world?
Yeah.
Um, let's get to that story. What was your journey into crypto?
Doing a bunch of drugs I shouldn't have been doing.
Right, right. It's funny. This is a normal story.
Great Genesis story.
Yeah.
Threw a bunch into Bitcoin when it was somewhere under $15, and through drugs and stupidity, I no longer have access to that.
Yeah.
So I to realize my millions, I've got to work for it again.
Oh, I
Um,
respect the fuck out of that.
but I took a few years off of crypto, got off those drugs, got straight in the head, I guess. Um, and doing a lot on Ethereum. And then I realized I'm poor, and so I switched to Binance and realized I hate being rugged and moved to Fantom, and it's been great so far. I love it here.
Oh, this I find this interesting. This is the shit that I love. You clearly have a story to tell. Um, it's one of those things that I always think of, like when you walk by the person on the street and you look at them and you don't really clue in that, like, they lived a lifetime of shit that you've never seen in your lifetime. But I find this so important with artists because we're always trying, as a collector, like I'm always trying to figure out, like, what is their inspiration. So for yourself, like, what inspired you to start creating?
Um,
Was it the drugs?
Partially drugs. If you couldn't ascertain that from the style.
Right.
Um, but I did a lot of not not happy drugs,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
shit that made you feel bad,
yeah.
especially after the fact. And a lot of the art that I make is just kind of reflecting on that in a sense.
This is interesting. So so we could really see a progression. Well, I mean, we've already seen a progression in your art. You're at the point, like I said, I've seen pixel stuff. I've seen you kind of doing these like cool blending images. Then you send me a message that like, hey, dude, I'm fucking just kind of teaching myself 3D animation. No big deal. Yeah, give us a little glimpse of like what that's been like for you. You're learning a whole new aspect of art.
Yeah. So I'm learning two at the moment. I'm teaching myself how to use GIMP because up until like a week ago, I've been drawing on just my cell phone.
Right.
And so I'm learning how to use like Photoshop type, and it's been fun. It's been tricky. I don't know. GIMP just makes sense. It's easy.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been like I can't explain what I'm doing. I don't know how to do very much, but what I know how to do, I feel like I've got a solid grasp for the fact that I've been doing it for less than 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. So this goes.
So if anyone
What?
knows how to use Blender, hit me up because I'm like desperate here.
Yeah. This is awesome. One of my investment strategies in this art space is betting on artists.
But
And for there's a lot of shitty projects out there. Even if it's great art, you don't know who's behind it. Especially when there's a bunch of code behind it that I have no idea how to fucking read it. There's an aspect to like I need to bet on the artist, not just the piece itself. Now, an artist like yourself, when I see you immediately immerse yourself into the community, you have all of the top Fantom artists in your fucking Discord, and you're doing these crazy collaboration pieces. You know, you're teaching yourself new tasks. What are you looking forward to in the next like 5 years? Like I can imagine that you have some fucking thoughts of like there's a reason you're teaching yourself some stuff, you know? What are you thinking up?
um, I really want to. I've heard like basically every artist say it at this point, but augmented reality is that's going to be insane.
Yeah, the augmented reality. I was talking to a guy at work today because I always bring it up. Buddy from BitGems when I was on the round table, and he brought up the idea of the world is too polluted with advertising.
Yeah,
Nobody gets paid for advertising. The idea that you could strap on a set of goggles, get paid for that time that you're entering advertising world, where you've now tokenized the fucking metaverse. You bring all your advertising in there. This is shit that I find so interesting because these companies are going to need artists to do stuff.
yes, they're going to need once it finally catches up.
Yeah.
Which who knows when that will happen.
Well, it feels like we're just pushing the fucking levels here. Like when you got stuff like Rarity, that already these UI websites that I'm seeing built on top of this Rarity game. It's like, holy shit, guys.
Yeah,
And now we're getting
I've
into...
been so bad with that.
Oh, dude. I'm already...
Taking my dudes out like once.
Are you putting them in daycare yet or not?
I did. I should probably double check to see if I actually did that or if I was just really stoned.
Yeah, I gotta find the actual website for the daycare spot because I'm fucking brutal at making sure my guys go on adventures. So this is a big... you're an artist. You make art.
Yeah.
There's an aspect to NFTs. There's a lot of speculators.
Yes, there are.
There's many different aspects to this NFT stuff. Like there's collectibles. There's people that just snipe for rarities in collections. There's real art. You're now entering music and GameFi.
I'm excited for GameFi. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. Okay. So this gets interesting because that's the reason I got into NFTs was the idea of my little brothers, like just watching the amount of time and money they sunk into video games, going like, we got to be at this point of like play to earn. What are you most looking like? Are you looking at trying to work yourself into GameFi? Like, is that a bit of a passion project for you in the future?
Not necessarily. Um, I think it would be cool,
Right.
but I would have to do a whole hell of a lot more than I am right now to kind of fit myself in with with GameFi. I've got assets, but no story.
Right. Yeah. Understandable. Well, see, this is where things get interesting, right? Like you got Uman's working with Play Lexicon, where Play Lexicon's writing lore for the Umans. It does feel like a potential collaboration opportunity. which you're very fucking good at. When it comes to the speculators, so like Uman, for instance, like just me being so active in that Discord, I see the hounding that she can get at times. Speculators are speculating, and if prices aren't rising as fast as they want to rise, you, the artist, apparently aren't doing enough. Is there a bit of a balancing act in this for you? Like, can you explain how you are trying to kind of balance that out, or if you even care about the speculators whatsoever, or if it's like, you know what, fuck you, I'm doing me. If you buy it, you like it, awesome, good for you.
More so that, but
Nice.
I enjoy the speculative side of things just because degen, I'm here to gamble.
Yeah.
But I think keeping them separate also can be good for the community as a whole long term.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So this is something that I kind of noticed with some of your pieces. Clockworky's kind of the same way. So you're clearly not a 1,000 character project, 10,000K avatar. Like, you've got a lot of one-of-ones, but then you've got some of these like collection pieces. So I thought I noticed something today about this whole smashed nanners or smushed nanners thing is potentially going to be a series.
Yeah, they're all going to be one of ones, but there are going to be multiple smash nanners.
Right. Oh, this gets interesting.
Like there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to smush a nanner.
Yeah.
And I see that Splarg joined up. He's the one working on that project with me, and we got some cool nanners coming.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Now, is there a strategy in your mind at all when it comes to like, I guess it's more for me as a collector. Like, I think of the numbers because the first question is like, what's the supply, this and that. Do you kind of have a strategy in the back of your head of like, you know, there's a certain amount of there's gonna be one-of-one pieces I'm gonna make that have nothing to do with a collection, but then I want to have maybe 3 or 4 collections that contain like 100 pieces each. Or are you just winging this right now?
I mean, I like tripped and fell into this entire thing. I had like 15 followers on Twitter a month ago.
This is what's so exciting, is that like this is all so new and happening. And like I just don't think people realize exactly like what is going on. So for me, like this big, I'm just looking at this chat alone, and we've got some legends in this fucking group just in here. But again, going back to your hash lounge, the artists that you have in there, I'm of the thinking that like if you're getting into NFT projects on Fantom, like you basically just got to go through that little lounge and pick a piece from each of you. Are artists reaching out to you, asking you about like, how do I get involved in the community and
Not so much. Hopefully having battle trains behind me. Not so much. It's mostly been like the spam bots and shit like that.
yeah.
Every once in a while, like an artist will reach out and like ask advice, and I'm like, here's what I've been kind of doing, but I'm winging this too. Like, if you find something works better, please let me know. It's all very much a learning experience for me.
Oh, that's what I find so interesting, right? Like, even for me, you know, I'm in a market time right now where it's like I'm gonna sit back, kind of watch things play out. I'm not interested in selling anything by any means.
Yeah.
But there is this aspect to like, holy fuck, there's 10 projects coming out a day that are asking for 400 FTM per mint. Like, this is getting kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You're a collector, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the NFT space on Fantom right now?
Um, I like what I'm seeing as far as like the unique new like artists popping up. I've seen some really cool things just kind of show up randomly on ZooCoin. I'm like, oh, hey, these are really sweet.
Mhm.
Turns out they have like an entire collection I've never seen before.
Right.
I'm a little less excited for the like 1 to 10,000 plus mints, all randomized, unique, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
I like those, but I can only see so many of the same like retextured 24-bit avatars before I'm like, what's the point? Why is this worth 200 Phantom?
Right. Yeah. So I know this doesn't really apply to you as much because like you're a genuine artist that just provides great art. That like you said, buy it. Like if you don't like it, don't fucking buy it. Whatever. But there's an aspect to these minting projects. Like if when you're sitting on the outside, like that's got to be enticing. Um, like
Do you want some alpha?
I didn't want to ask. Like, you got something minting coming up, but do you have something minting coming up?
Here, share my screen. This is a project I'm working on with Splarg and
Oh my.
with Seth. He's got that lovely little epoxy profile picture down there.
Yeah.
Um, Another homie of ours is also working on it, but he's been busy lately. So this will be a obviously not randomized. They're all going to be
Oh,
hand
cool.
drawn and then pixelized over. But we're going to do some frogs because who doesn't love a good frog?
Nice. Oh, this is fucking already better than a bunch of projects I've seen on Phantom.
Yeah. And we've been working on these guys for like 2 months now. But the guy who's supplying the frogs is
That's
the
awesome.
the furry frog on the
Yeah.
casting couch.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one so far. Um, he just moved, and so we're waiting for him to like fully establish and stuff before we start cranking out the frogs again.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Fuck. That's cool.
there's gonna be 100 total. With We're still bouncing between 5 or 10 of the rarer ones. And Splarg, don't kill me for this, but the rarer ones are going to be toads, and
Shit.
they are. Splarg drew them up. I went through and pixelized them or all the frames, and sent them back. And there's going to be toads as like the rare guys, just kind of thrown in randomly throughout all of them. Still in the development stages, but
All right, ladies and gentlemen, slight alpha there. It's already potentially
good,
better than
good
the
as place
100
as any.
fucking FTM projects that have already popped up. Okay, another project to look forward to. Is this something I know you guys aren't finished the project yet, but I mean I guess there's no rush in the idea of what are you thinking about Arshin coming out? What are your thoughts on this whole new marketplace coming to market?
I've got quite a list of stuff I'm saving for Arch. I've just been working on like between projects, working on other projects that are going to end up on there.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff that's gone up in the Tomb Heads auctions, if it's from a collection, that is going to be like the full collections are going to be minted on Arshin.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So, as a collector, I'd actually like to hear this from you. What's your strategy going into this Arshan launch and the coming days afterwards? Like, do you have you kind of sat there and theorized up a strategy of how this plays out?
Not really. Uh, I'm kind of going with the fuck it approach,
Yeah,
seeing what happens. So I have confidence in the foundation for Archon,
yeah,
but
yeah.
launches rarely go how you expect them to.
Right.
I'm excited for it nonetheless. It's just one of those I don't want to get my hopes up and then have it just be like a day or two before it's fully entirely operational.
Are there projects that you personally have your eye on? There.
The Yes, actually, one that I just saw pop up last night on ZooCoin.
Hmm.
They were Phantom aliens.
Oh, I think I've seen these.
I think
I
there were
think.
only three of them. Let's see, come on.
Yeah, I do think I. You posted these in one of the discords this morning, right?
Yeah, and I posted them up on Twitter as well. Internet's being slow.
Oh, of course. This is always how it works.
It's like, yeah, the cool thing. I want to see the cool thing.
Just see me trying to
Come on.
load up some of Clockworky's images last night. Some of his like big resolution ones. We're just not having a good time.
Here we go. Yeah, these guys.
Ah, yes. I fucking dig
It's
it.
one of the. I don't want to say profile picture project because I consider those to be like the Phantom Punks and
Right,
like just the minted high quantity, low quality.
right.
But I really like these. Like it's a unique style is something I haven't really seen pop
Do
up yet. This is one I picked this guy up.
Yeah, I seen that one. I did like that one. Yeah, you took the one I wanted because I'm a big Third Eye fan, so I like I like all that trippiness. Uh,
Same here.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Do you know who that artist is by chance? Have you?
I don't.
No
I
fucking
found
clue.
out about them because Phantom Boy
Right,
retweeted them, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab that guy before it's gone.
right. Well, it's funny how like fast this happens because for myself it was uh, Nightmare Demon, where it was just like scrolling through Zoo, going like, wait, what the fuck are those? Sure enough, I bought four of them, uh,
Yeah,
and now already his shit is just going nuts.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah, that more exciting stuff.
yeah. I think these are gonna do well though. They've got a really cool style. I
Yeah,
want
they
to figure out who
do.
makes them. Like, if
Yeah,
anybody knows who, like, have them reach out, please.
yeah, these are super interesting. I do like this. Uh, Cheap
Yeah,
price
I've
off
been
the
making
get go.
aliens. They're making aliens. Like, we could make some aliens together. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So here's something I actually want to ask you because
Yeah.
pricing is a big thing. Obviously, there's it. It's weird, right? Because there's whales. We know there's a fuck ton of whales on Phantom. That
Oh yeah.
we're trying to get that whale money, you know. Um, but we, but then you also have like this large group of the community that are now just getting into Phantom when it's at $1.70. It's not the 20. They didn't get in at the 20 cents that many of us were able to get in and around.
Yeah. And I feel
Is
like
it
that's
is it really difficult for you to price your stuff?
some things it is. For some stuff, not so much.
Right.
I don't really look at it as a way to make money. Most everything that I've earned, I put back into other artists,
Right.
either by buying their work or whatever. Um, it's nice to make money from stuff that I create, but it almost feels unfair at the same time.
That's interesting. I like that you say that because it makes me want to buy more of your pieces. Because that way I don't feel like you're stealing my money, but at the same time, like it's
Well, I mean,
all
at the end of the day, I would still be getting your money in that sense. And like for larger projects where it's 100 plus, 1,000 plus mints, like for the frog project, we're trying to figure out into baby steps, but we want to donate a portion of that to charity because like it's a lot of work, but that's a lot more money than we feel the work is
Right.
worth. And so giving some of that forward is kind of a good way to rectify that.
Yeah, this is huge. Like, this is where I think the NFT space kind of takes over. Like, I know I hate the idea that we have to incentivize people to donate to charities and whatnot, but at the same time, it does feel like NFTs are an incredible way to incentivize charitable donations, even if it's by force via royalties and
Yeah, it's
code.
like, oh, you bought this? Cool. Some of that's going to them. Thanks.
Yeah. So I do like the idea that an artist can determine that right off the get go. They're like, hey, 5% of this is going to this charity. I know Uman made it her first donation today, which was just a cool feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's cool knowing that that project's seen success now to the point that we were just able to give I think it was 1.1 ETH to a charity. I forget what the Mona, something about empowering
Yeah. Mona.
children and young girls. So
Yeah, it's like that's awesome.
yeah, right. Like it feels good. I know the Tombheads guys, like you guys, do so much for the charities and stuff already. Is this like? So what's your game plan here? Like I know you got to make a living. Like are you full time in art right now, or do you have a full time job? Like
So I trade and then I draw. That's kind of
okay,
all I
cool.
do.
Oh, nice. Right on.
My wife works
You live
full
the
time,
straight up DGen life.
and I'm making more money than her now.
Ah, there you go. Um, yeah, that's got to be exciting. It's something that I asked the question because it's something that I'm currently dealing with, like the idea of getting home after an hour and a half commute, sit down, try to just get this chat in. Yeah, there's an aspect to like feels like I'm wasting 10 hours a day doing stuff I don't want to be doing when I'd rather be doing shit like this all day every day. Uh,
That's kind of how I felt. Um, After I quit my job, I was like, "Fuck it," threw my entire bank account into Phantom, and I was like, "There I go."
let's do it. Oh yeah, fuck. Decisions are gonna have to be made soon. I did have a Pepe tarot card reading on an AMA last week live, and part of it is I guess I've never done a tarot reading, so I guess you're supposed to ask a question, and then the reading or your draw is supposed to help answer
Like
the
the
question.
response or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question was like, am I approaching the time where it's like, yeah, okay, fuck the 9 to 5. It's time to go balls to the wall with this. The draw was quite good in the terms of like, yeah, I should be doing this. So that's coming. There's still some shit I got to figure out.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such
It's one of those. It's a big step, but it's so free at the same time.
yeah. I just need to hear a little bit more of that. I think is what it comes down to. What do you love about Phantom? Like, I know you said you didn't like the you're too poor for ETH, and yeah, don't like getting rugged on Binance, but there's a hell of a lot of other chains out there, and this is a big decision for a lot of people. Luckily, someone like myself, I found Phantom early. There's people that still haven't touched our coin yet, haven't operated on our protocol yet. What is the pitch to these people?
Um, I mean, truthfully, it was kind of just a shot in the dark. I had a little bit on Matic, and I was like, "This is terrible."
Yeah,
Didn't want to try to wait for Cardano, which is a good move there.
still waiting.
Still waiting. Got one transaction per block.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's revolutionary. They did it. Um, but I was reading into the tech, and that was kind of what got me into it at first. Is like this is a protocol and like the foundation themselves. They're trying to do things that are larger than just here's our coin, here's our chain. Let's make money. And when I kind of really started to understand all of what they're trying to accomplish, I was like, yep, all my money is going in here because this is gonna be huge. And I got in right around what, 15 cents,
Yeah.
18 cents,
Yeah. Um,
right after that huge the like 92 cent all time high.
okay, so you did get in after that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
right after that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that was my first. Um, I rode that from 17 cents up past 80, and rode it right back down to about 17 cents.
Damn.
Yeah, again, yeah. There's part of me wish. See, it's funny because at the same time, there's a huge part of me regrets not doing the trade then. I mean, most people kind of seen that trade coming, that we were going to go through a bit of
Yeah.
a little tank, but that's when I kind of got into NFTs. Sure enough, started buying Clockworky pieces and shit before I even knew who Clockworky was. I
Yeah,
minted,
which that's a great move there.
yeah, I minted 80 of those fucking FTM punks, which I just thought I just totally gave away a bag of that stuff. So to see them come back on Twitter last week or whatever was just like,
Yeah, and they're like, hey, check your
oh
wallets.
shit.
That was nuts. I minted one of those, and I was like, why did I mint this? I got
Yeah,
I got something a little bit cooler looking for it.
yeah. Uh, so I know the rarity thing is a big deal on Phantom.
Oh yeah.
You talk about GameFi being an interest of yours. This for me, this is kind of what I think that Phantom separates itself through this GameFi aspect. I heard something about Solana like crashed today. I don't know what that was
Yeah, they
about.
took the entire network offline. Like I don't know how you do that for a decentralized network, but
See, this shit sketches me out a little bit.
it's interesting.
Yeah. So the whole EVM compatibility thing is that a big deal for an artist, or is that just a dev thing?
Um, to say I understand it would be a complete lie,
Yeah. Okay.
but I think it has potential to be really big. I did see, I don't remember where I saw it, but one of the Cheese Night said that like the bridge that Andre was working on, like it's not like an ERC 20 bridge, and if you had an NFT get stuck on that, like what are you gonna do about that?
Right. So I guess this is the concept of. Yeah, I did want to talk through this actually because this was a great point. There are a fuck ton of collectors that are, me included, super hyped about the idea of a bridge, but this does feel like that, almost like that poly network hack happened, where like this seems to be where shit happens is on the bridges.
Yes. I don't want to lose like any of my umins that I paid twice the price in gas for
Right.
on the bridge. Break my heart.
Yeah. Oh, this gets interesting because, yeah, it's something
Like
that people
the
need to
idea
think
of
about for
bringing
sure.
the potential to bring them over is incredible,
Right.
but that's a
This,
really big risk too.
yeah, the security aspect of them sitting on that bridge. Because yeah, I guess the way he did explain it was like it's still like an Ethereum token essentially. Oh yeah, I don't know how to fucking explain it. Anyways,
I do the arts. I can't do the tech.
yeah, yeah. So has this like as an artist, if you were to talk to new artists coming into the space, it's a question I get a lot, and I kind of my only answer was really to help direct them to one of the platforms. What is the best? What are the best methods for an artist coming into the space to get their work out there, and like why might one be better than the other?
Um, so I'm glad you asked that actually, because I've been helping Splarg with that. Been helping Seth with that, and a couple other friends who are just now starting to get onto the network and mint things. Um, but I think the first thing you should do is get on Twitter.
Right.
Like that's, I mean, outside of like actually minting the NFTs, just be on Twitter. That's all you need to do. If you're active, and I mean, if you're just active enough, people will see your work eventually.
Right.
And in a pretty tight knit community that Fantom is, it doesn't take long.
So, I mean, I'm a collector. Like the whole minting, I understand the aspect of like something like Uman was a teacher for me, because Bit Umans was a project that consumers got to mint, whereas ETH Umans were something that she minted. From my understanding is that it's just really expensive to mint on like OpenSea. Could you get into like is there any kind of difference between minting on a Syph marketplace versus a ZooCoin versus PaintSwap?
So I really like Syph. I found them day one. And at first I was really, really worried that I was just like investing in, it felt like a rug, but like a day one website, they always kind of feel like it's just going to be a rug.
Yep.
But I really enjoy the platform. It's been nothing but great. I like that they added artist verifications and stuff like that.
Oh.
So you can go in and just kind of prove you are who you say you are, and get a little verified symbol. So if you're trying to buy something and it's like a really cool looking piece and they're asking $1,000, but they're not verified, that might not be their work.
Oh, that's a big deal, especially when there's a bunch of bridging and shit happening.
Yeah, like I've seen a bunch of just the 10,000 mint ETH projects kind of popping up there.
Yeah.
And some people, like, if you're in the community, you know what those are. You've seen them. If you're kind of newer, you maybe haven't seen all the people from Ethereum with all these Shivas and apes and shit.
Right.
And so you don't know that you're buying something that isn't really yours.
As a collector, what's your favorite art to collect? Like, what's your collecting strategy? Like, is there just certain, or like, are you kind of focused on collecting like one-of-one art pieces? Are you speculating in the 10K avatar projects, the 100 rocks or stains? You know, like, what's your collecting strategy right now?
I really just go for stuff that I think is cool, like works that I think are unique or something that just kind of speaks to me. There are some that, like the cyberpunks. I picked up 3 of those because I think those are cool.
Yep.
Like for a large mint project like that, I think they did it right. Those are fucking awesome looking.
Yep. I really like the backgrounds that they did.
Yeah, I'm big on backgrounds. I don't like that a lot of projects, like, it's a really cool image and then it's just a flat color on the back.
Well, this is what I was trying to. That was my idea of trying to revive the FTM punks. Was to get all you motherfuckers that are basically in this live chat to do up backgrounds, and then we implement those backgrounds into the FTM punks as like the grand rising fucking revival of the project. I'm just gonna leave that wink wink nudge nudge if you guys want to discuss that at some point in time. But
I think everyone here knows where the hash room is.
Yep. So yeah, when it comes to Arshin's coming out, I mean, I think we're all expecting. Part of me is worried that we're all expecting so many people from Ethereum to run immediately. Part of me is just like worried that like we're all thinking that, so it might not happen. But the other part of me is like, no, it definitely has to happen, just for the straight up facts that people are so done paying $200 in gas. What are your thoughts on the potential of a gold rush coming into Fantom?
I think it's inevitable, but I don't think it's going to happen quite as fast as a lot of people are anticipating it
Okay.
to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like we'll see this crazy like 10, 15x in total volume on the platform, but it'll be over the course of like 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, this is interesting because you're a trader, so these are like little fucking tips that I can take from you. Um, you mentioned kind of augmented reality being the forefront of your mind, not the forefront of your mind, but the thing you're most looking forward to in the future.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to know your thoughts on the music industry. We're all music fans here. Um, I just want I want to brainstorm with you a little bit about like why do you think the music industry needs to move into this NFT stuff, and why do you think that would be beneficial when you hear all these stories about Kesha and Britney Spears and Prince, Michael Jackson? Pick a huge celebrity that came out against their record label. Um, yeah, what are your thoughts on music and NFTs and that industry?
It's only a matter of time before the NFT space and the music industry are just like one and the same,
Right.
in my opinion. I've got a friend who he's a producer, and I've been trying to get him just to explore the NFT space and kind of see the potential there. Because he's always talking about how much trouble he has selling beats. I mean, you
Right.
could they will sell themselves because you have all of like three other artists to compete with here.
So I want to toss an idea back with you here. Huge alpha for anybody in this chat right now. Concept was so I write a little bit of music here and there. I like writing rap because there's something about the idea I can get more of a message out. Like I try to be a lyrical writer. The idea that I could potentially educate somebody through music. So
Yeah,
kind of came up with this little idea. So originally the concept was I need to get in touch with like a big artist. Now this is kind of developed from that point, but I want to throw this off with you. So NFTs. Say we're a band and we create a new wallet which gets 24 new seed words. We write a song and include those 24 seed words into the song. So with that new wallet that we created, we maybe take 10 of my NFTs that I've collected over time. We stick those in that wallet. And then we release 1,000 of the tracks. And basically say, you have the opportunity to decode the track, unlock the wallet, get in there, transfer those assets to your wallet. I just want to know your thoughts on this.
my first like knee-jerk reaction was, who is that man who buried treasure in Appalachia?
Hmm.
That's I like that.
Yeah. Because
People would go absolute fucking ape shit for that.
well, yeah, because I really think that there's an aspect to like you could get into doing an album where you have to like buy a song and that unlocks the next one, and there's something in there that unlocks the next one. Like I do think the NFT space is so fucking interesting. And a lot of that reason, that's kind of why I do these chats, is just to brainstorm and fucking think of new shit while I'm hating my 9 to 5. Uh, yeah. Is there anything wild that maybe the tech isn't quite here yet, but you're kind of dreaming up a little bit? Because it feels like the artists are staying ahead of the tech, which makes sense. You got to create the ideas before you create the thing behind the idea.
Not quite
Just,
ahead of the tech in a sense, but a big one for me is I would like to make environments for like if you had a haptic feedback suit.
hmm.
you could go into this like dimension and experience like what it feels like to be there.
You just gave me goosebumps. I went back into a DMT trip for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been thinking up, and like the two big projects I've been working on, the both those creepy dudes. I'm trying to figure out how that would work in like an augmented reality.
Hmm.
Essentially, it's just strap in for this night terror real quick.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Have some that aren't terrifying. Have some that are like positive and uplifting. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because you could do like basically a whole fucking haunted house through an augmented reality.
yeah, have it be a haunted house essentially, but just an art gallery at the same time.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I've had this concept of like I think the one area where like avatar projects might do well. So Visa buying that CryptoPunk was a big deal for
That
me.
was insane.
So that was a big game changer for me, like mentally. Just because the way I looked at it was just like oh fuck. So Visa just spent the money. Like marketing's always been this like weird black hole, right? Where you spend a bunch of money and you're just hoping to get
That
the amount of eyes that said
you hope
marketing
that
company has
that
said they'll get
attaches
you.
or catches attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, they paid the money. Uh, they basically bought into the CryptoPunk community, which is, I think there's 3,000 plus owners. So you bought into that 3,000 people. You also own a CryptoPunk, so you've bought into the entire NFT industry and are marketing to the whole NFT industry. But then there's the aspect of just not 2 weeks later, the floor is at 150 fucking ETH. And Visa's now holding an asset on their balance sheet that is up 300% in 2 weeks. And they did all of the marketing they needed to do. Uh,
Yeah.
It-
Liquid marketing
yeah.
is going to be a really big thing with NFTs, I feel like.
So this is where I get into the idea of NFTs feels like the creation of culture. So the way I look at it is like way back in the fucking day, we built crazy shit with so much effort and time, and there was so much culture involved in it all. Whereas now, everything is fucking bland. It's square houses everywhere. We frame things to last a day past the mortgage.
Yeah.
This feels like again, I'm a yin and yang guy. The pendulum swings both ways. This feels like we're about to enter the new stage of like we're getting back to this idea of creating culture at all times. What are your thoughts on just as a human being, and you look around the world and it's all fucked up. What does like crypto and NFTs like mean to you for like humanity? Is there like a real powerful message behind it to you, or is this just like kind of a bit of a chance to make money, sell yourself up a little bit, or are you kind of looking at like some of the Bitcoin maxis?
So I'd be lying if I said it didn't start out as like, oh, hey, I could make money from this, and that was the end of it.
Yep.
But especially kind of experiencing how global this whole community is, what may not be life-changing money to someone like where I'm living is life-changing money to someone somewhere else. And like they could earn that because there's people in places with economies that are stronger, and so they can load in more money. So the distribution of wealth is kind of a big thing for me. It's nice to
Right.
see people who have no other way to kind of make this living for themselves actually make it. I think the big one is just opportunity.
Right. So I'm going to flip this completely on the other side of this aspect. When Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum is up on stage and there's the video playing in the background that says, by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. Are we also potentially playing into that aspect?
I mean, I could see that. I think for me personally, it's the experience. I enjoy finding artists and seeing these new pieces. And hell, if I wanted to, I could take every single NFT, like the 3D ones that I've purchased, and print them out, put them up on my walls, and just enjoy them in the real world as well. So I think the idea that we're going to be owning nothing, I get what they mean, but I don't think that's quite accurate.
Right. You bring up a great point there. I did want to get into this. So behind me here, I got the fucking lovely Uman physical.
That thing is so fucking cool.
So fucking sick, dude. It blows me away every time I fucking look at it. Anyways, Clockwork, I brought this up to him last night, and sure enough, he drops a thing that like, oh yeah, I got a physical that's gonna be coming out. This is a big deal. This whole physical thing, like we're still in that bit of a transitionary phase, where like it's still cool as shit to have this thing sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
Are you having these questions and thoughts thrown at you of like, will you be doing physical pieces and maybe pairing them with NFTs or not?
It's something I've definitely thought about. I don't know. It's a lot more work than it sounds like.
Yeah.
To pair that. But at the same time, like I think it's something that like investors deserve. I don't know if that's the right word for it necessarily, but
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, that's.
like, I've also seen, I can't remember who it was, but it did a project where it was like a 10,000 one of one. There's a physical and a digital, and you only can keep one.
I
Like,
seen that.
Do you keep the physical and then the NFT gets destroyed, or do you
Right.
keep the NFT?
Right. Oh, that's fucking interesting. Yeah. So
I saw that. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking interesting. Because I've been playing with this. It was one of my first NFTs, actually, was this, like, physical digital thing. I bought a pair of, I think they're called Ethereal shoes. There's some kind of, like, custom Ethereum shoe. And the unlockable content is physical delivery of a custom shoe. Now, this is 8 months later, I'm still figuring out my investment strategy on that. Have yet to unlock content. If you were to brainstorm this with me, like, what are your thoughts on the idea of, how do you get the most value out of the two of them together? Or separate, like which you kind of get what I'm asking, like what's the potential best play?
That's tough because I mean, if you redeem that, the NFT it still holds value, but it might not hold that same, or might not command the same numbers it did when it still had the redeemable.
Right.
You then have the opportunity to, like, hey, if you want to dox yourself to mail, I'll mail you these shoes, whatever. It seems kind of messy.
Well, it is. So this is something that, it was big for me to have this conversation with Jay Money from Official NFTs, because that's a big question, right? Like, when I'm buying a t-shirt and potentially reselling a t-shirt, that's not the same as like a fucking... I don't even look at a t-shirt as the same as like a pair of shoes. Like I've had a couple different thought processes on the shoes. I thought, there is an aspect to, let me just not unlock the content, hold the shoes. Eventually somebody will want to buy it to unlock the content and get the shoes. That's been my strategy as of to this point. The other part of me goes, well, hold up. What the fuck? What if something happens to this artist and I've claimed the shoes and like not many other people have claimed the shoes? And then for whatever reason, something happens to artist, she can't make the shoes. There's been the other aspect of like, you know, I should unlock them just to bring them home, put them in a fucking shoe case, and then potentially, you know, package that with the digital at some point. Yeah, I find the physical aspect is so interesting, but the way J Money explained his method is that they're going to be running their own like escrow service, basically. That the physical will run through.
I remember that. I had a question during that, which I don't know if either of y'all saw it. I was in the car during that. But what if somebody sends their shirt back into like escrow and it's got like stains or it's got like some tearing or something like that? Would they then like actively like destroy, like burn the shirt and then remake it? Because they only do the one of each.
Right. Oh, interesting. So if they did like a video basically or some kind of proof that they burned the physical, could they redo a new one? Oh, that's interesting.
Like what if someone had the Rug by Ice shirt, right, and they redeemed it and they happen to be a big guy, and then I go and buy the shirt and I want the physical, so I'm like, okay, well, cool. I can't wear like an extra large.
Right.
I wear a small.
Right.
Like the shirt, it's still cool. It still holds value, but not as much to me because I can't wear it.
Right.
And so I think maybe a burn type of procedure would work for that.
Yeah, it's almost like that, like Banksy burn, where he burned that that physical painting. Did the video of him burning the physical painting, so that only the digital existed. But now you'd basically be recreating a new physical. Oh, that's super interesting.
It's still like a one of one in existence.
Yeah,
not a one of one in terms of
ever
how many
made.
were made.
And does that change things?
I don't know if it would, because it's still a one of one, and then it can be customed to you,
right?
Or no one else has worn it or whatever.
Right. Oh, they get so interesting, right?
Yeah, it's like for the price that you're paying for these NFTs plus a shirt.
Yeah,
I'd want it to be a new shirt.
Yeah, there is an aspect to because the price has gotten so crazy that it does. Yeah, J Money, I think you gotta think about this one. Yeah, because that is interesting. I don't know if they've equated for that in the business model, but I mean, I guess it's the fucking shipping costs that ruin everything. Because even Uman trying to get me this was a hassle and a half. She had to go through the Ministry of Culture, like bunch of bullshit to try to get that out of Ecuador.
That's insane.
Yeah. So another kind of cool aspect of like the story behind it, right? Like,
like it definitely had to fight its way to you.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think I'll ever get rid of that. I've been debating on
I wouldn't.
Digital piece at some point. I kind of like the idea of like maybe like 5 years from now selling the digital of it and letting that float around in space for another 10 years and then just hoping to like receive the call at some point from somebody who then has that digital that will pay whatever the fuck they need to repair it with the physical. That has been part of my mindset. But the other part of me goes, even the digital is just a one of one digital Uman that's like clearly different than the other ones. Like doesn't have a border and whatnot. So like
like at that point.
Yeah, it's almost like
that's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, but this thing I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Yeah. I am intrigued about the digital stuff because even I know she's been getting asked a ton about prints Is there an aspect that like you could do something like that, like maybe printing and signing images, and sending it out to holders? Like, have you thought about doing anything like that? Because a lot of it just comes down to the interaction, right? Like, a lot of this comes down to the artist interaction.
Yeah, it's just like giving back to the people who gave to you, kind of all supporting each other in that sense. But that kind of goes back to the same, it can be a hassle getting a physical piece of art from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it is tricky, because like there's something about the idea of like, I want your digital signature, but I also want your physical signature.
Yeah,
that does get interesting.
so I've thought about it before, but it could potentially be cost prohibitive.
Right. You know what though? You could even do something. I think people would be willing to pay for it. To be in all honesty, considering like I've paid for derivatives of my stuff before,
That's fair. That's true.
I would definitely pay for a physical, even if it's just a fucking 8x11, but it's got that marker signature or pen signature. Again, it comes down to, I think a lot of it's just that. It goes back to like the NFT idea, right? Like just knowing that my wallet interacted with your wallet to obtain this NFT.
Yeah, it's like personalized.
Yeah. Well, Hashi, I don't think I got anything else to ask you, dude. I know you're working on a ton of shit. You've got projects on basically every marketplace at the moment. Like you've got a couple things on Syfe. Most of your stuff's on Zoo, am I correct?
I'd say it's about 50-50 between
Really?
Syfe and Zoo.
Okay.
I've got a little bit on PaintSwap, but I keep breaking PaintSwap, and so I don't keep up with that one quite as much yet.
Right. Is there anything you want to plug? I know you got your Twitter at @HASHY_Jim. I really wish there was like a good the marketplaces are kind of difficult, because even when I just look up Hashy Jim on like Zoocoin, it like brings up a couple of your pieces, but it doesn't just like, I really wish it would just bring up everything, you know? Look at, I can see
I do have a link tree.
Okay, so if you could share that in our Discord here, that would be great. Yeah, because I really want people to check out your stuff. Because, like I said, you've had some awesome fucking pieces in these Tombhead auctions. You've got some awesome pieces on these marketplaces. Just seeing your interaction with the community, dude. I keep trying to say that like this rabbit hole is where I'm going to be directing most of my time and energy, but I find I'm spending a lot of fucking time just browsing through the hash room, trying to catch up on what you guys are all creating.
Well, I mean, kind of the way that you were pitching the rabbit hole, it sounded like it's just like the other half of the hash room. It's like we got the really artist focused side,
right?
And you got like the collector focused side,
right? Yeah, it's super interesting, right? Like I'm still trying to kind of figure out how to hone this in for myself. There's the idea. I don't have the cojones that you have to make that I'm going to trade and do NFTs decision. There's something to me that like, it's almost like I got to know that I'm like offering a service that's bringing in an income enough that I can jump away. That's why I've started getting into the consultation stuff. I'm working with Selic. You know the artist Selic?
Yeah. I'm trying to get Selic into the hash room.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure he gets in the hash room, because him and I are working on some fucking cool shit behind the scenes. I've got some new branding coming. So I'm trying to kind of hone in on this, and I figured I'd get some help from some of the artists around the FTM community. I did get an alpha from Spirit Swap today about a potential game. That's all. I'll leave that at that.
I love Spirit Swap.
Dude, yeah, what do you think about all these decks as like being these like launch pads for artists and NFTs?
I think it's really cool.
Right?
There's a all I can say is there's something in the works, um, in that vein that I'm working on.
Alphas,
But
alphas, 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 alphas. That's what I'm about.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited for it.
It's awesome.
Pretty new up and comer.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Because I want to be able to fucking build a sick ass gallery on a chunk eventually. And then I want to be able to walk through my fucking chunk with my Uman character, looking at all my fucking Clockworky and Hashy Jim and Seth and Schlarp. Fucking all of you guys. Tombheads, like looking at those pieces. I just, this world gets so fucking interesting. It's funny, when I talk to guys at work, they're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, but then I just show them, like, hey, teleportation hole, I got 20 ETH for that. Like, this shit's real. Like, somebody's willing to pay me $80,000 for that piece.
Yeah, like that's insane.
There's a real part of me that goes like, fuck, I want that piece back.
That's me every time I sell even stuff I make. I'm like, I shouldn't have sold that.
I know, I can only imagine.
Why'd I mint that?
That's so interesting. All right, Hashi, dude, I really appreciate this. You gave me fucking an hour 15 of your time. Awesome. I enjoyed the conversation.
Actually, one idea before
before
we call this is something that came up
Yep.
halfway through this. So, like a gallery in a 3D space, kind of like what's been popping up on Ethereum, and hopefully it's going to start popping up on Fantom.
Yes.
Where you can show off all your NFTs.
Dude, this is what I'm trying to do.
As an artist or like as a creator, after they sell, they don't leave the gallery. So people can come in and they can still see all of your works. It'll just have like a sold, or it'll just link to the person who owns it. I've seen some where when stuff sells, it's just no longer there. And like if you're just a consumer, a collector, that makes sense that it wouldn't stay in your collection because you sold it.
Right.
But as a creator, I would like to be able to show off like from the first piece I minted up until like the absolute newest stuff. Like here's the entirety of what I've made.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I haven't seen that yet, but I feel like that's going to be big.
So, yeah, I really like that because that was like a big thing for me. Just like last night, like when and even today, getting with you, like I would love to just click on a fucking link and just see the whole portfolio of pieces. Part of this Discord thing is, I don't want to say DAO because it's just a big random word. But there's an aspect to like, I do want this to be a group effort, like some kind of, whether it's like I know some of the pieces that I have in my collection, understanding that like how, I guess it's all speculation, but to me it's not, understanding how valuable these pieces are going to be 10 years from now. So the idea that like I have no problems like locking those up in some kind of like a DAO structure that would like, I don't know if it's whether it's like it'll fractionalize out some of my pieces to then bring in not revenue but funding that we then could take into the metaverse, buy plots of land in all of these metaverses, prop up these galleries. I'd love to host this kind of shit like in a gallery, like you know what I mean, like you and I talking, doing this same conversation as 100 people are running around our gallery. And I seen one guy, NFT Update, he does it where he built one where each floor he features a different artist. So everybody's just running around in Decentraland, and you're just checking out each floor. But then some of the artists are there in their little metaverse form, so you get to kind of chat with the artists there for a minute. But almost just being this like platform to showcase artists and art and creators. Because then there's even the aspect of like the sponsorship. Like you hear about the Axie sponsorship stuff, and like even I'm a big Zed Run guy. Don't have the fucking time to deal with all my horses, and like would love to somehow give that up to like a DAO or something where like, okay, now somebody else can take the time to fucking breed them and do all this, and like we all make a little bit of the money out of it, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of what the corpses in the hash room, like they're like tickling that idea,
Right.
of using them to kind of fund like an artist launch pad.
Right. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we should definitely talk more about that later.
100%.
It's just one of those. It takes time,
It does.
and it takes like the right group of people
Yeah.
to really pull everything together.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think there's so much good shit going on. Like I'm trying to do my thing in here. FTM alerts just absolutely killing it. Obviously, we got the Tombheads doing the auction house. There's so many great players in the Fantom ecosystem, and everybody's got such love for each other.
I'm so stoked.
I honestly think that
It's so much
we could
fun.
do some crazy fucking shit together. The whole whack of us. Yeah, this is super interesting. Anyways, Hashi, I really appreciate this, dude. Again, you gave me. Now we're at almost an hour and a half of your time. Really appreciate that, dude. We got your link tree.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got your link tree right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to check out Hashi Gym. Again, I don't think you could go wrong with having a piece from each of these artists that are in the hash room. Now, I don't know if the hash room's kind of open invite or not. I think you've got it kind of open invite. Because you get to kind
It's
of be
mostly open invite.
you get to be a collector or an artist.
Collector or an artist, but at the same time, like if you haven't ever put out anything and you can't link to any of your work, you're gonna lose the artist role.
Right.
Not like only fair.
Yep. Completely understandable. So if you are a collector or an artist, I get asked this all the time about artists, like wanting to, how do I get myself into the community? Yeah, that's a great fucking way. Start collaborating immediately with all these artists, showing off your skills, showing off your personality and creativity. And then as a collector, dude, there's alphas out the fucking ass. This is literally essentially an artist alpha Discord. So if you're a collector,
That's all it is.
it's great because another reason that helps me be super patient in markets like this is knowing what is coming out. Where it's like, okay, I'm going to sit for a bit. I'm not going to mint some of this bullshit that's popping because I've seen 20 different pieces come out of the Hash Lounge that I want every fucking one of them. So
Yeah, I've definitely seen some stuff where I'm like, okay, I'm holding off on that mint. I'm gonna just go ahead and scoop that when it drops.
yeah, right. Yeah. Hashi, this was awesome. Really appreciate it, man. I never know how to say goodbye in these, but goodbye.
Peace.
Ciao, ciao.